Welcome back. You're still on to This Morning on Love War Plus. Now, before I went on the break, we're going to look at this, the reactions trailing the Southern Kaduna killings. So we were, talking about, security now, security concerns. This is something that, Kaduna has been in the news for years. I mean, we've seen history, where there have been killings, whether ethnic killings, religious killings, and it has become an eyesore. I mean, last week you had women, protesting, about this. They went on the streets. They went to the one of the royal palace or so, and they went. Some of them were naked just to protest. That's to tell you how far, how deep this thing has gone. And that's why we're looking at it with security concerns, because after that we've seen things happen in Taraba and Benue, and all of that. But given like a brief history of how it has been in
even Boko Haram attacked the governor.
Yes, that's the governor.
Borno State, Zulum.
Zulum, yes. But this insecurity, and then you have Burtai coming out, different, the chief of air staff, saying that they're speaking to these different operations, military operations that giving them the charge. Even the president himself came out to say he has been given the charge to the military, given the charge to the troops to be able to, talking about this bandits and all of that, But it's beyond the charge at this point, what is going on. But let's just give a brief, of what happened, in Kaduna. Now, a recent wave of deadly attacks in the southern part of Nigeria's restive Kaduna state has brought the seemingly never-ending cycle of communal violence and impunity in the state back into focus. The media reported that gunmen killed at least 43 people between July 21 to 24, and that 178 people were killed in the past 7 months across southern Kaduna communities. 178 people were killed in the past 7 months across the southern Kaduna communities. Now, the police haven't commented on the identity of the perpetrators or the motivations behind the attacks. Now, the state governor claimed the recent attacks were carried out by armed bandits terrorizing Nigeria's northwest states, but media reports included witnesses attributing blame to a militia targeting the southern Kaduna communities on ethnic grounds. Now, to discuss further on this topic, we have someone from Kaduna joining us now online, from Benue. He's joining us now online. He's a researcher. He is Victor Achime. Victor is a doctoral researcher at the University of Ibadan with a background especially in sociology and criminology. He specializes in social research that could inform policy for human development and societal advancement. Okay, thank you so much for joining us on the morning show. Hello, Victor.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Joining you guys. Yeah.
Thank you for taking out the time to join us.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Thank you so much. So, Victor, talking about the southern Kaduna killings, would you call it political or religious?
Yeah, thank you for this. On the southern Kaduna, it depends on what we're actually talking about, because when you are talking about conflict, there are various dimensions to conflict. And we have the communal conflict, and we have a conflict that is interest-driven. And what I see from the continuous violence within the southern Kaduna premise is that it has to do with resources. When we're talking about resources, we're talking about land, we're talking about other things that are very valuable. And then we have two various parties that are contending in this conflict. And so it depends on the angle we are actually looking at this conflict. We can't actually call it a religious conflict per se, but then I think it actually it has to do with a communal kind of conflict, because if you look at it genuinely, if you look at it holistically, you will see that it involves two various parties. But they have not come out pop and plain to tell us who the perpetrators are. They use various terminologies like bandits. They use terminologies like criminals. But then who are the criminals? Do they have an identity? That we don't know for sure. So we can't actually say if this conflict is religious per se. But then from the analysis of victimization, we can look at it as a communal-based conflict.
Okay, Victor. Kaduna State has been on a curfew lately, but in spite of the fact that the state is on a curfew, the state still witnesses this death orgy, so to say. Also, in spite of the fact that the military has actually also moved to Kaduna State. Why do you think we've not, Kaduna State government particularly, has not been able to nip this in the bud once and for all? Because it's become a festering sore when you probably have over 100,000 people dying in like 7-8 months.
Okay. It depends on the stakeholders. Are they doing the right thing? That's the question we are supposed to ask. Who are the people at the helms of affairs? Are they taking the right conflict resolution and procedures? Are they involving the conflict stakeholders? What are they actually doing to make sure that these things stop escalating? Because we're having too much deaths, killings and killings. Are they actually getting the perpetrators, and are they actually doing the right thing to make sure that this conflict ends? That's the question we're supposed to ask. So it's not just about sending the military. You can send the military. The military have been in the Northeast for how many years? But they are not still winning the battle of insurgency. So we need to sit down and draw out a very strong, strong mechanism that can be able to address this issue of communal conflicts that is ravaging the southern Kaduna premise. And I think that if we want to score, do a proper evaluation on the actions that have been taken to address this conflict, I can really say that it's not something that we can actually give a good recommendation about, because every day by day we keep on hearing stories of killings, and they are not getting any perpetrators. So I think that these stakeholders need to go back to the drawing board, involve whoever is needed to be involved, and think of a strategic way of ending this crisis. These people are not ghosts. These people that are killing are not ghosts. If they really want to address this issue, they can do it.
Hello? Okay, I'm sure he will join us.
I like
again.
that cue out. They are not ghosts.
They are not ghosts. They are human beings, and they are there. And another thing is that southern Kaduna is predominantly Christians.
Yeah.
That was why I asked the first question.
Yeah.
It's predominantly Christian.
I
So we might say it's ethnic or communal clash, which is, okay, we have Victor joining us again.
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I will not want to start creating an ethnic divide in my analysis, but then it's a problem of policy. It's a problem of the leaders. The leaders need to sit down and look at what actually the problem is. You can't keep running and beating the bush around the bush for so long. Why people keep dying? We need to ask the governors and the heads of security in that state some very, very vital questions on what policy and what mechanism are on ground. You don't just send military and say, you're not fighting a guerrilla war, for Christ's sake. We're talking about people's life. We're talking about communities that sleep and wake up and then they're attacked over the night. So it's a very serious issue that I think that the people at the helms of affairs need to wake up and address this issue critically.
Okay, Victor, you did mention that the government is not doing some things. What exactly will you describe as those things?
Okay. One, I believe that the government is trying to, cover the identities of these perpetrators. Today you come out and tell us they are headers. Tomorrow you come out and tell us they are bandits. And tomorrow you come out and tell us they are criminals. So you are virtually not coming out plainly to actually tell us who the identity of these people are. First of all, when you're trying to address a conflict, you need to understand who the people, or who exactly the people, the people involved.
Hello? Okay, now he's trying to establish a fact here that these stakeholders, the governors and the heads of security, having to come together, to deal with it decisively. Now, at a time, Governor El Rufai, according to him, had paid headsmen not to inflict violence in southern Kaduna.
Yeah.
Now, these people are said to, they are not even calling them headsmen, they say they're certain militia, that are doing this, and that's about communal, whatever the case may be. But looking at the history of southern Kaduna and Kaduna itself, this is back into like the 1980s. I mean, we've had we've had someone come on one of the programs, Beyond the Facts, when we're looking at Christian persecution, and he said how how they had come in, maimed people, killed people, and not much is being done. I mean, look at the protest, though. Not much is being done, about these things. And he is also based in Benue. So I don't know if we'll be able to have him talk about, the Benue killings and the IDP camps and all of that. But this is what is happening in the north. So it's not just about what the president keeps saying. He's addressing, the military is addressing, like what he said. He's a researcher. He said it's not enough to send the military. It's not enough. What about? Okay, we have Victor joining us again. Hello, Victor.
Yeah, I need to apologize for the bad.
No problem. So let's quickly talk. Okay, before we let you go, let's quickly talk about Benue. You've also been looking into that matter, where you're based, Benue, the Benue killings, and then something about the IDP camps. Can you tell us more about that?
Okay, for the past 3 years, I've been investigating the victimization experiences of these displaced farming communities, and which are predominantly a Christian community. So I can firmly tell you that this is a communal, should I say? No, this is a kind of a conflict where where you see communities. It's somehow like the Southern Kaduna killings, but here we have an identity. We know that the perpetrators of these crimes are headers, So I have been here for quite a number of years, for like 3 years now. I've been investigating their victimization experiences, and a lot of them, as you can see, a lot of them are farmers, and this is their mode of livelihood, and this I'm taking over about these heads, and through my investigation and interview most of them, they can't actually go back to their communities. In fact, right now I'm speaking to you, this is the farming season. A lot of them are languishing in the ID camps. You can look at the pictures at the background. Those tents you see are where they stay. Most of them were big people back in their communities. They had 2, 3 wives. They had the money to fund their lifestyle. But as a result of this conflict between the farmers and the herders, let me not say the conflict, because if you are saying, if you use what conflict, it's like 2 people contending. What is not intention? This is what it's very, 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 very disheartening. And throughout my interview, I really do not understand how our policy makers. I don't really understand what they are actually doing.
Thank you so much, Victor.
I mean, that was Benue. We moved from Southern Kaduna to Benue, where he's been for 3 years, doing a research. He said he's been, communicating with these people, these farmers. Most of them are farmers. Most of them, you saw the tents where they live now, and that they were living very well before. But now these headsmen came in to, destroy, of course, their lands.
Came into their community.
Into their community, and that is what they do. And this farmer headsman clashes has been on for years. Are we saying that the government has not, gotten to a point where they can, tackle this head on? We started with the Boko Haram, and now you have these ones came in. Though people claim that they seem to be another, kind of Boko Haram and all of that, whether or not these people are terrorists, and this is what they do, bringing in terror into places.
And security is the first mantra of this administration. And I guess 5 years counting for this administration, it's still like they were where we were at the beginning of this administration.
Okay, now we will still be talking on this topic briefly. We're supposed to be joined by an ex-military veteran, but that'll be after this short break, so stay tuned.
Because of you, Love Plus spanned all around the world. Because you gave, the Word of God spiraled into homes and lives in the world all over, bringing the gospel to millions, wroughing miracles with signs and wonders following. It's been 10 glorious years with an avalanche of testimonies. Our story won't be complete without you.
Daniel, I cannot die.
Thank you, our esteemed partners. You made it happen. It's our festival of vibes.
It's 3,653 days snowballed into 10 years of victories, 10 years of impact, 10 years of beauty, 10 years of excellence, and 10 years of successes. Thank you, our dear esteemed partners. You made the years worth its while. For your unflinching support, your seeds of love, for standing with us through and through. Thank you. It's our festival of vibes.
I got born again about 26 years ago.
I was born to Christian parents.
This is my salvation.
The things I had heard from people, the things I had seen on TV, the imaginations of my heart and the fantasies that I had all played a role in ensuring that I moved away from the boy that I was raised to be.
My mom several times would try to make me go to church. Whenever she's going to, I would say I'm not going. She would force me.
He answered all my questions from the Bible. I interrupted him and asked, can people like me also be born again? He said, yes. Why not? I said, no, you don't really know me. You don't know where I'm coming from. You don't know all of the things that I have done.
Maybe the new life I had in Christ is a beautiful life. Welcome back to This Morning. And before we went on a break, we're looking at the southern Kaduna killings and the reactions that have been trailing it. And we had a researcher from Benue, bringing us more update on that, and as well as, what has happened in Benue with the farmers and herders clash. Okay, now, we said we're going to have a security expert, but she's also an ex-military. We hope she'll be joining us on phone now. She is an ex-military, a veteran in charge of the veteran affairs for the military. Let me get more about her detail here. Yes, Juliet Essam, that's her name. So please do let us know when she's ready to join us on this, topic. So looking at all the things that, Victor had to say, it takes a lot for a young man like that, to begin to research, and look at this thing investigatively, which is what I think that hello? Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us on the morning show.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, we have been looking at the Southern Kaduna killings and the reactions that have been trailing it.
Yes.
So, as an ex-military and a veteran yourself, what do you have to say, about this matter, this development, which, of course, has been happening for years now?
Well, any country is having issues like this. The military are supposed to be the people that will come in and take charge of that. But recently, the way they have been treated,
Hello?
hello,
Okay, please go ahead.
the way the military are being treated, both the serving and the retired, is not very encouraging. So there's what we call morale in the military. The morale poster. When the morale is low, no situation we just not be too good for any of the person. Like the serving soldiers are not really getting what their counterparts outside Nigeria are getting, and that is killing the morale seriously. Like the serving soldiers will look at us, with the veterans who left the job, nobody care about us, our entitlements are not given to us. So they feel that they cannot die for this country, who cannot take care of those who fought the war to keep this country one. So the major problem now is that the military should be taken care of so that they will have that spirit that we have those days, that we can die for our country.
Okay, okay. We may have to let you go at this time. We cannot really hear you, so we'll have you join us when we, again, so that we can hear you clearly. Thank you. Okay, we just had to let her go.
Yeah.
We couldn't hear, and we need to hear what she has to say on this matter. So it is a developing matter, and it's a matter of concern, that the government and stakeholders have been looking into, but we'll be bringing more on that. But right now, we have to move on to our next discussion. And can you, you said yesterday about it, talking about the Chinese loan.
Oh yes,
and,
the loan between Nigeria and the Import Exportism Bank of China. That's the Export Import Bank of China.
Okay.
Yeah, between Nigeria and that bank also,
Okay.
or technically between Nigeria and China.
Okay, we have her back. Let's just quickly ask her this last question.
Okay.
Hello, Juliet Essam. Okay, I hope we can hear you clearly now. Quickly tell us, what do you think that the government should do? I mean, we had someone calling from Benue telling us that sending military into those areas is not enough. So what do you think the government should do to mitigate these challenges in southern Kaduna?
The government needs to beef up incentives for the soldiers, provide them all the necessary things they need to fight this calamity that has befallen us in our own country, because things that are coming up now has never happened when we were in service. So I still need that government needs to do more, both the staff for the serving and the retired, so that when you are fighting, you know that when you are retired, you will not be on the street begging. You'll be able to give it all for yourself and be sure that you protect the integrity of this our motherland.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us on the morning show. Thank you. Okay, I think she said that, government protecting the integrity of, the northern area. So, talking about this next topic, we have an expert joining us,
Samson Davis.
Yeah.
CEO of True Experience.
True Experience.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be joining us on live call to talk about, the implications of this sovereignty guarantee clause. Because from what we read, it's that the Minister of Transportation says that we are not ceding, the sovereignty of the nation to China. But there's a clause, and that's what we want to examine and look into. So we'll go on a quick break. When we return, we'll have our guest join us to talk more on this topic. Stay tuned.
From Lagos
To London. From Johannesburg
For several years, our economy
to the United States.
identifying houses of worship.
We have all the world covered for you, no matter where you are.
Love with News is at the heart of it all.
Have experience.
We bring you our perspectives of stories behind the story.
The signs given to us for the entry of these things are before us.
Join us.
Join us.
Join us on this station.
Welcome back. It's launched this morning on Love World Plus, and we're looking at foreign loans. That's the next topic. Foreign